as we get to the last NFC East rival in this series here, we'll look at why this team is the most dumpster fire adjacent. Of course, we'll give them a fair shake and look at all the factors and variables, but it's not looking good at all for the city and the nation's capital. What's up, it's your boy Cintron. Come back into another analysis video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. We'll get into some Eagles news later, but like I said, first up, 10 reasons the Commanders will be a dumpster fire this season. The Commanders will be bad in 2023. Here's why, from Jim Kempinski. I call him that because we got our issues, even though we're both Eagles fans. He draws the ire of me. So, anyways, we looked at the Cowboys and Giants previously. Haven't go look at the catalog. It's on the playlist, but as well as the channel's video. But you're not even, a video list. You're not even looking at it. So, anyways, the head coach is a lame duck. Yeah, man, I couldn't believe that they were actually looking at Carson Wentz as a serious option, as the savior of their franchise last year. I'm like, oh, you're serious? Oh, damn. Your fortune is not going to be so good. They gave up a pair of third rounders, 2022 and 2023, which they've already paid, as well as a swap of 2022 second round picks. And I mean, it is only 5 steps, but I mean, still, that could have been a player that they could have had that they didn't have to trade up for, trade down for. I don't know, whatever the outcome was, but still. And $28 million salary, a major setback. I mean, I was just like, what are you seeing that other teams, aren't? You're chomping at the bit to sign this guy who flamed out with the Colts and just unmiraculously down the stretch, he melted. He was the reason that primary reason why they didn't make the playoffs in a win and get in situation with, I think it was Jacksonville. And you're just like, are you fucking kidding me, man? All you gotta do is go out here and beat this team, and they couldn't do it. They collapsed. And the owner was like, okay, heads will roll. Carson, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta go. So fortunately for the Colts franchise, they were able to get something for him, and they probably more than they thought they would get. And then in the middle of the season, he got hurt. They were on a roll with Taylor Heineke, even though he had obvious limitations. And then they go back to Wentz, fumbling Wentz. And then he fumbles the bag, and then they have to go back to, Heineke anyways. It just was a carousel of self-inflicted wounds. And then, Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, he's a long day from those days where he was, the next up with the Panthers franchise, led them to the Super Bowl that they ended up losing, but they were highly competitive during that time. They had Cam Newton, but all the things were in place, but they just didn't capitalize on that era, and they never reached such heights again. Specifically Cam, when he won the MVP that year. But yeah, man, it was confusing. And then he didn't even know the playoff situation. Oh, we can be eliminated. Oh, if we lose this game. What coach doesn't know the situation? I can get some players not knowing when infamously, when Donovan McNabb didn't know that, we could tie. One game that we did, I forget who was it. Maybe it was the Browns or something. It was abysmal. And yet we ended up doing it. But yeah, he recovered from that. But a coach admitting that on an oppressor, yeah, that's damning, to some extent. But I mean, he kind of also had some missteps, with team chemistry and kind of within that building, making some other questionable decisions. I can't think of them as of the moment, but it was just why are you doing this? Like I said, self-inflicted wounds hurt this franchise, and it's a comedy of errors because they're getting sold. Pause. The name change. Then the lamed up head coach, the coach who just he's not going anywhere with that franchise, and then his special supposed to be defense, and they had some just mishaps and situations. So I mean but like I said with other videos, go ahead and self-destruct. It serves the Eagles' purposes for you to be doing this bad, be down bad, so that we can be good. But yeah, they're just set to, the also-rans finished 4th in the division Yeah, it was good enough last year. Not good enough. Oh yeah, good enough for the overall image and the results, because it looked good on paper. But everybody's gonna take a step back this year with the hard season, the hard schedule they have, and them playing for fourth place. Just you can't switch divisions. You're stuck where you are, and you got three teams above you that are superior. Ain't looking good. All right, they never have a good quarterback. So I'll be going back to this because they brought in Jacoby Brissett, but they're not even going to start him. They're hitching their wagon to Howell. He was I think a fifth round pick, and they saw enough from him in a Week 18 game to give him the job. Unchallenged with a lengthy stretch of rope. I'm like I said, hey, it only benefits the Eagles, so do what you do. But he's inexperienced. He's a second-year guy, but he might as well be a rookie. And that start, even though it was against Dallas that was trying to win the game, doesn't really count for much. And I don't know what they saw leading up to that game in practice, and only they know on that side there in Washington. But it can't have been that good because he didn't displace the other starters at any point throughout the year. It was just kind of like let's see what we have in this investment here, which just speaks of desperation. But this franchise has been down bad for a long time, and they've been on hard times. They won the NFC East in 2020, but that was like an aberration. All the teams were freaking horrible, and they've since revamped, and the Eagles are the crown jewel of the division. The Dallas Cowboys are decent, but they're not going very far in the long run, and the Giants are kind of switching back and forth between Jekyll and Hyde. Like, we want to be good. We kind of lost our way, or we don't know what we're doing anymore. There's been plenty of chances for them to take advantage of 2020 for that to serve as a building block, but they just have never graduated past that step of being promising. But this just fits. Like 2017, Kirk Cousins, he was their best shot because out of these quarterbacks, he's the best served. 2018, Alex Smith was cooked. The lower leg injuries, the knee injuries, he wasn't the same player that he was previously, like in KC when that was the zenith of his career. Case Keenum, not a guy that you want to entrust your franchise to, even though he had some highlight starting time in Minnesota. He eventually was exposed in the NFC Championship. Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul. He never just matured and had good guidance there. Enough for him to develop. So unfortunate, but we'll never get to see that as well, which also is unfortunate, tragic. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic has had some great tours of duty around the league. Played for almost like half the teams, if not that or more. But that being said, he's always been had a cap on his limitations, what he's able to do. He's a smart guy. Went to Harvard, but he you can only go so far on when you're physically and your physical limitations are not able to be outdone by your mental. Carson Wentz, we just spoke to the guy. Yeah, Howell or Brissett. I'd go with Brissett if you want to win, but even if you do, still could end up getting the axe. So I would say as a coach, go down that with the ship as you'd like, jump whenever you want to, or not. But make no bones about it. Go out and do your job the way you would like to do it. Especially if you're not going to be guaranteed a job past the season. You're going to be guaranteed that money because coaches get guaranteed contracts, which is wild. But Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback out of this bunch. The guy, he's an above average quarterback, but he just falls short in the clutch. So, man, it's horrible to see. It's hard. Like, you kind of see your rivals as little brothers in some aspects. You're like, it sucks to see you struggle. I ain't gonna help you, but it sucks though. All right, Chase Young is nearly bust status. I was like, damn, that's a little harsh to say, but the guy has just never recovered from his very solid rookie season. 7.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and since then he just hasn't been able to be healthy. He got activated off the to the active roster in December last year, and it was just too late, and they shut it down after a week because he just wasn't able to really go. And 2021 season, he got hurt, and then he's devastating knee injury for a pass rusher who has such burst. They declined to pick up his 5th-year option, so we'll see. What what happens moving forward. Does he need a change of scenery and to revitalize his career? Because right now he's not gonna be worth anything close to what they thought they were getting for him when they selected him. Might have been 2nd overall, but I know it was within the top 5. Like Montez Sweat looks like the guy who they're gonna try and extend. But I mean, it's disappointing to see him come in with so much hype, and maybe it was just hyperbole because it's a bit unfortunate because injuries, you don't schedule those, you can't schedule those, and it's just unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is at this point. I think it would serve both parties just to move on at this point and see where see if that can be productive for him, but also for them. I don't think they're gonna get anything out of it. Maybe a compensation pick, compensatory pick, but just lost wages for the Redskins, basically. I mean, the Commanders. Keep forgetting because we're gonna undergo another name change. Who the fuck are they gonna be? Bizarro man. The offensive line has 3 concerning spots among the starting 5. Ooh, that's not good, man. 2 is already problematic. 3, you are high-key struggling. I mean, Charles Leno, Chris Paul, Nick Gates, Sam Cosmi, Andrew Wiley. Wiley's a turnstile. It was credited for like 8 sacks last year with the Chiefs, and he got fortunate that the Eagles had to deal with fighting an unknown opponent to them at the time. The field the conditions were horrible. They were trash. It was like being in the Everglades, and they're not. The Super Bowl wasn't in Florida. So yeah, Sam Cosmi, solid. I mean, decent guy. Chris Paul, just another guy. Nick Gates, just another guy. Charles Leno, fine, but fine is not a ringing endorsement. So I mean, the Eagles are going to eat them alive, and Dallas doesn't have a bad pass rush either. Mike Parsons and the boys, D-Law, Tank, and their new D tackle, Mozzie Smith, and the Giants. They have Thibodeau, they have the big boy on the inside interior, long hair, D-line Palomalu, forgetting his name, from USC, Leonard Williams. They got a big boy, sexy Dexter Lawrence. And then they have like Ojulari, his brother, the original Ojulari, who came into the league first. But I mean, they're gonna get eaten alive, man, and it's not gonna be promising. I mean, danger, but hey, works out for us, man. I love that. I love to see that feast-o-meter give us 9 out of 10 turkeys, turkey legs. All right, they always have a lot of injuries. So I mean, maybe that just speaks to their the training staff that they employ. Whatever it is, the diets, get those players some recommendations on their workout routines and stuff like. But I've heard also I think it's them, but they're a cheap franchise, to have so much money. But it comes from ownership down. But you've got to be able to to provide. They're professionals. They're getting paid a high salary, but they should also have the best facilities, the best care, the best amenities, and all those things. That should be no questions asked, ready to go from the get go. But not everybody runs their franchises the same. I know we have a stand up one in Philly with Jeffrey Lurie running the franchise, but him and his wife. But yeah, there's work to be done, because they came in, they had some abysmal rankings, and they're like, okay, well, we can work on that. But that's an owner that's willing to listen. So like I said, the strength coaches and the training staff, they get F. The coaches get A, but it shows that the training room and the staff, and locker room and team travel, ranked dead last. Food service. So they don't give up in the facilities. Like I said, these are just my high postulations, but what you get in, what you get out what you put in, and they're not putting in much. So this is like a struggle franchise. You think they were like Popeyes or something like that? It's like top of the line, but hey, go ahead and struggle, man. like I said, it benefits us to not have your players in tip top conditions. And remember Trent Williams a couple of years ago, he had a bone to pick with them because he found out that he had a tumor in his brain, and it was only by happenstance. I think when he went to the 49ers, they found out, or shortly before he left the Redskins at the time, and he just was pissed. He just burned a bridge forever. He would never re-sign with them, and he went on to to greener pastures with the 49ers, and yeah, he credits them with a lot, man. It was his career basically at this point, basically making his Redskins tenure null and void, which tells you a lot, man. Just how deep seated his disliking for that staff and front office was. All right, the Commanders are facing regression on third down defense. Yeah, man. I mean, anytime you can't get off the field, you might as well call it in because you're gonna wear down your defense and then put pressure on your offense to work with limited snaps, and they're already not the greatest superpower on have the greatest firepower on offense. So you're gonna put a lot of pressure on that pretty much rookie's shoulder, Sam Howell, and it's gonna be a recipe for disaster. They'll probably have 2 starting rookie corners. Ooh, man, I like that. Damn, man, yeah, like Emmanuel Forbes. I'm really interested to see because he had a great career. He picked off 14 passes in the SEC, the best conference. But he's 6'1", buck 66, extremely skinny. He runs a 4.3, I think a 4.36. But the guy is just outmatched physically. So how's he going to hold up against, like they saying here, A.J. Brown, 226 pounds, not too much slower than you. And, you're running backwards. He's running forwards. And he's a very good route runner. And he just eats up contact. Like, I mean, you touch him, he's like, huh? Were you even there? So, I mean, I'm going to love to see those matchups. See, I mean, not just him, CeeDee Lamb, Devonta Smith, with his route running. I hope he cooks the rookie. The new guy, Brandon Cooks, with the Cowboys, as well as, if he's matched up rookie versus rookie with Jalen Hyatt. So, yeah, he's going to have his work cut out for him. And Quan Martin's a solid guy, coming from that Illinois defensive backfield. Shout out to Sidney Brown, the newest Eagle with us, who was his backfield mate. Yeah, we don't all get any favors, though. So I hope he gets worked over as well. He's a versatile guy. Was a good second-round pick for them. But that being said, I think 2 rookie corners can be a liability, and they're going to be targeted, flat out. Tight ends. They don't use them. So I don't know what the issue with it, is with them not really looking at a vital piece of the offense, that could be, and they give you a great option with, running, run and pass, and trying to deceive the defense, and whether it's a run and pass, and having guys that block and also threat to receiver. The days of Vernon Davis are long gone. I mean, even with him being in a diminished state, he was a threat at tight end, and they have nothing close to it. So I don't know, man. It just makes their offense easier to defend because a tight end could usually be a quarterback's best friend, but them not having someone viable, like I said, just clamps down their options and makes it easier for the Eagles to eat them alive. But all right, number 9. Why the hell did Eric Bieniemy choose to become this team's offensive coordinator? I can only think of him wanting to have license to do what he wanted to, and to call the offense and then to get the credit for it. He never was going to get it there with the Kansas City Chiefs, and even though he could have had a winning pedigree, continue to be on his resume, as well as getting rings. I mean, I would never step away from jury selection. I always get like, hey, man, can you just give me a little bit of a bump more, even if I wasn't doing much. You could just by way of continuity, I'm there and we're having success. So 1 + 2 = 3. But yeah, the Commanders have perhaps the worst facilities. Damn, yeah. Plus 4 family treatment. Damn, it extends to the people outside the building as well. The new owner has absolutely nothing to do with his hiring. So yeah, he could just cast him out. Head coach is a lame duck, so you don't even know if you're gonna be there after this year. So just a lot of bad reasons, but you could tell this was made out of desperation. This is how bad he wanted out of KC, that he wanted to make a path, make a travel a road of his own making, and put that step into that path on the left or the right, and that fork in the road. So Interesting, man. But hey, Dan Snyder is gone, but the new guy isn't good. I don't know, man. I don't know about who the new prospective guy. Like, okay, Harris, but he's got he's gonna be dividing his attention. I don't even know how that works. I know he can't be full outright uh, full majority owner because he owns another major franchise in the 76ers, and that's a conflict of interest. Philly team versus a rival team in the same division. So I mean, but it just fits with the theme that like his attention is split. So just makes all the more sense. But like I said, that's the Washington Commanders, and it's just a mess. Even covering them, like you're trying to make sense of this, you're like, okay, well, damn, they don't stand a chance. They never did. All right, to get into some more news, it's not going to be pictured here, but Jalen Hurts. We just continue to learn about the legend of the man, and he's just fantastic, great. He's still upset about the Super Bowl. Not that he's stewing over it, but he's stewing over he looks at it in a reflective manner that he could have done better. Jason Kelsey on the podcast talked about Hurts' mentality, and I'm not saying specifically that he said this. But he said, knowing him, and we had conversations about, some things connected to, Super Bowl. He's beating himself up, about his performance. He's like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I could have, done this with this play. I could have made this adjustment. And that's what great men do. Great, especially leaders, they take accountability and they don't put the blame anywhere else. When you're pointing a finger out, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. You got to be self-accountable. If you let yourself buy into excuses, you're gonna become a sad excuse. And that's just the way it goes. Like, you want someone that is gonna come in and tell you their faults first, how they can help make others better, how they can put them in a position to be successful. And when things go awry, they look to encourage, they look to build up, they look to assess, and they look to to not to criticize performance, but not veer off that course. So because it's a thin line. If I say, all right, man, we got to be better, I'm expecting me primarily to be better. I'm not going to be passive aggressive and say, hey, we need to be better. And I'm solely looking at you, like you can tell by my body language, right, tone of my voice, that it's being directed solely. The focus is on you. So, it's beautiful the way he takes accountability. He doesn't blame people. He just looks to elevate. And he's like, come with me. We're going up. I'm going up. Hey, I want you with me, and I want you at your strongest, at the fullest of your capabilities. That's just the kind of man he is. So it's just inspiring, and the guy's mature. Lane Johnson said he's one of the most mature guys that you'll meet at that age, and it just speaks volumes to his character, man. That he looks to be the first guy to fall on a sword. Not in a vain way, not in an empty way, like, oh, well, okay, I'm gonna hide the problems. No, let's assess with the clear sight and clear vision, and what can we work on here? How can we rectify this? That's it. So the last bit of information, the last bit of news we'll get into here. Some interesting videos we're gonna make here with some stuff, but the NFL continues cracking down on gambling. More season-long suspensions expected. So hope no Eagles are on that list, man. Might be some Cowboys, the way they get down. But I think it was the Colts. It might have been a special teamer. He received a season-long suspension. Yeah, man, they're not playing about that because it sends the wrong message. But even though they're sending the wrong message anyways, I saw in the very contradictory line. They were like, hey, man, let's get you on this, FanDuel or whatever. If you're having trouble with the game, I'm like, which is it? You want me addicted, or you want me to get help? Because you can't be devil and the angel. So it's confusing, but it'll be interesting to see who's all on the list. If any major players, even role players, could affect the season by virtue of them not being available. But anyways, that's all we have for today. But I know you're not even watching though. But it's all good. Because as always, it's fly, Eagles, fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share. subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.